with back-to-back wins in the league. The attention turns to Argyle at home park tonight for the Papa John's Trophy, and Argyle are hoping to keep their good momentum going. A nice dramatic start to Argyle TV this evening, but what a great afternoon Saturday was for Argyle and everyone here at Home Park. Welcome to Argyle TV. I am Erin Black, and this evening we'll be hoping for more of the same as we go up against Bristol Rovers in the Papa John's Trophy. Over the next 40 minutes before kick-off, we will be hearing from Argyle's assistant manager, Mark Hughes, who this time last year was a player for tonight's opponents. We'll also be hearing from Morgan Whittaker, who will be talking about trying to stake a claim in the first team squad and in the starting 11 in particular, after mainly appearing as a substitute so far. And of course, Argyle under-18 manager Darren Way will join us live to talk about the Academy's incredible 7-0 win over Swindon Town on Saturday. It's been a pretty good weekend for Argyle in all capacities. Now, all of that, plus the team news, is ahead of tonight's game. And to bring you into the loop, I am joined in the company of former Argyle and Premier League player, Mark Edworthy. Mark, so nice to have you with us this afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I thought you was going to really be pleased with that spectacular entrance I just made there. But
it was. I could see you ready with the lunge in my peripheral vision, and I think one of the best entrances we've had on Argyle TV this season.
Exactly. Well, we're laughing at obviously the pre-music from Bristol Rovers. Let's hope that's not going to affect them on the pitch tonight, or will it affect them? But no, as we said, a fantastic result the weekend against Bolton, 2-0, great result. Expect changes from tonight's game, a great competition, purely because it's the game programme. There's lots of games in a short period of time. Another trip, a difficult away trip to Derby at the weekend, so I expect the manager to make changes. And it's a great opportunity for players who does get the shirt tonight to prove that they're worthy of a start of the weekend.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the key takeaways from a game like this evening, is that we're going to be seeing some of the academy players taken to the field, and we're also going to be, able to see, slightly different formations, slightly different setups, because it's not a league game. There's a bit of room for manoeuvre here, isn't there?
Well, it is. Again, it's a great opportunity for players to prove to the manager that they want to be in that first team. Things are going great in the league so far. It's a step away from that. I know winning games is a great habit, and players don't want to miss games, but the rotation system, as we said, is vital in games in a week. But as you said, Darren Way's coming in. He's doing a fantastic job. And if we see some of these youngsters play tonight, I mean, that just goes to show how great the club's performing at that youth level. It's a great opportunity at first team level as well.
Yeah. And we've got the 5 substitution rule as well, which gives everyone a little bit more scope to bring on these different players, let them, you know, perform in front of the crowd. Do you think that is something that comes even more into the forefront in a game like today in the Papa John's Trophy?
Yeah, for sure. I think there is a rotation system that's vitally important, and giving those players opportunity as well to come onto the field. But as we said, if some youngsters do start tonight, what a platform for them to play on. I mean, the pitch is looking in fantastic condition. We don't know what sort of crowd's going to turn up tonight, but it's exciting times for the club for sure.
Yeah, I mean, one of the players we'll be hearing from on Argyle TV in a little bit is Morgan Whittaker, who, for example, has been coming on as a substitute but hoping to play the full 90 minutes. And I think things like that, to be able to prove your worth to your manager and show just how much you can perform, is really key, isn't it?
Yeah, it's vitally important. I actually know Morgan quite well from his Derby days. I remember watching him at under-18s and 23 level, and he had a big move to Swansea, so he's come here on loan. And again, he wants to come here and prove a point to the manager, and there's no better way of doing it in a cup competition and just proving that he's worth of a starting place.
What is your take on the Papa John's Trophy and this kind of cup competition as a whole? Because I think it's fair to say it has a mixed reception from various fans and, you know, people all across the board. But what do you make of it?
I think cup competition are vitally important. I think the most important competition for us as a club will be the FA Cup. It potentially can be great revenue to the football club, but this is an opportunity for players to show their worth. As we said, rotation because of the amount of games over the season, the game programme. Rumours is Joey Barton's not even here, so what does that say for the competition? If the manager's not, that's only a rumour. We haven't got that confirmed. But if he's not here, what does that say about this competition? So, as we said before, it's a great opportunity for youngsters to prove their worth. Loan signings who are at the club have done superbly well so far. We've got obviously players from the Premier League, Aston Villa and Norwich, who have come here. And it just gives the youngsters that opportunity tonight to say, you know what, I'm going to perform at this level. And again, it gives the manager, you know, these boys think, you know, these boys can do it at this level, and it puts them in the frame for the weekend. Yeah,
I mean, we'll touch on it more further into the programme as well, but this competition in particular as well, Argyle haven't been super successful in previous versions, but obviously, providing you do get to those final stages and at the end, there's the opportunity to play at Wembley. So,
well, it's revenue, isn't it? It's revenue for the football club. That's what's so important. You know, we know the chairman has had a new investment this week or last week, which is fantastic for football club. You know, the club's going places and it wants to get it established potentially as a championship club. So if you get more revenue from the cup run, you go into a cup run, it breeds confidence. But as we said, it's a squad situation and it gives a great opportunity for players to say, you know what, I'm ready to play in the first team.
And you mentioned as well, when we were talking just before we came on air, that, you know, we've had quite a quick succession of games as well this week as well, you know, Saturday, tonight, and then coming again on Saturday. So being able to bring in the players that you mentioned and make the changes in the formation, I suppose it gives some of the players in the team a chance to have a little break as well.
Oh, for sure. As we said, winning's a great habit, and it was a fantastic result against Bolton at the weekend, and players don't want to miss games. But as we said, it's a tough game to Derby at the weekend. 3 games in a week. This is why the squad becomes so important. Over that 46-game campaign in the league and the cup competitions, you know, players could be playing 50-plus games. So the manager knows that. He's going to rest players and prepare them for the weekend. Because I think ultimately the league is where we want to be. We want to hopefully get promotion. We did great last season. We just missed out. And I think we just fell short towards the end of the season. So that was probably to do with the squad rotation. And he's brought quality players in on loan. He's got great youngsters coming through, so it really bodes for a fantastic season. Yeah,
and speaking of Argyle's kind of good fortune so far and that Bolton win, let's take a little look back at it now. Argyle winning 2-0 over Bolton on Saturday.
Well, Galloway, who's been pushed off the ball. Chance on the right-hand side for Bolton, flashes across goal. Bradley and goes behind and out for a goal kick. Jordan Houghton is over it. Low towards a near post through everybody. It was as Zaz was there, it was blocked and up into the air. Bolton still haven't cleared it properly. Iredale, loads of space on the left-hand side. He's got Bolton players either side of him. He goes towards Charles inside the penalty area, cuts back. Here it comes, shot comes in, deflected. Oh, it's wide. But for all the world, like Lee was going to score. Von Wijk takes a free kick long, looking for Ennis. It's over the top of Johnston. Ennis looking to get into it. He's there before Ricardo Santos goes around the keeper and scores. It's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant work from Niall Ennis. It was a lost cause. Bolton have it back, and Iredale, with loads of space on the left-hand side, brings the ball down, volleys it goalwards. Well, that wasn't too far away from Jack Iredale. For Von Wijk, Argyle in the Bolton half. Mumba He has got away from Iredale, then drives into the penalty area, still going, Barley number onto his left foot, shoots. Oh, it didn't hit just as cleanly as he would have wanted. Referee's happy now. Low ball, all the way through. Oh, it's Galloway at the far post. It's gone wide. I don't think he was expecting it to come to Brendan Galloway. Just rolls the ball under his boot. Puts it away. He knew straight away that it was a lacklustre pass, a weak pass, and Afolayan striding forward. Vital tackle coming in from Scar. Forward again. Charles has it. There are so many Bolton players over here. Bradley's one of them. Low ball into the middle, and it's onto the post, and somehow it's put wide. Oh my word! Well saved, that is. Gillespie's there for Argyle. Hardy, nice cushion pass. Finds Whittaker. Chance for Argyle to break here. Whittaker to Hardy on the right-hand side. Can he get his shots away? He does. He scores!
A great win for Argyle on Saturday there. Nice to have a little look back at some of those highlights, making it 2 wins from 2 so far. But Stephen Schumacher has shuffled the team around, understandably, for this evening's game. So let's take a little look at your starting 11 now. Appearing on screen for you, your lineup is Callum Burton, Macaulay Gillespie, Jordan Houghton, Joe Edwards, Ryan Hardy, Morgan Whittaker, Adam Randall, Nigel Lonvike, Jack Endicott, Oscar Halls and Will Jenkins-Davies. And we see the likes of Michael Cooper on the bench alongside Matt Butcher, Niall Ennis, Bally Mumba, Finn Azaz and Jeff Forquo and Freddie Isaka. Now, Mark, what do you make of this lineup this evening? We've spoken about how we're expecting to see some academy players. It's nice to see them there after a successful run with the academy at the weekend too.
Yeah, I think it's great. It puts a big smile on your face to think those youngsters are going to get the chance tonight. Jack Endicott, I know Jack well from watching him last season. Obviously now it's his second year as a scholar. Will Jenkins scored 4 the weekend against Swindon. Again, second year scholar, Will Jenkins is, and Oscar Hall. So what an opportunity for them 3 boys. We know we're going to speak with Darren Way later on. He must be so proud of those boys getting that opportunity. So yeah, what a platform for they to start on tonight. It's a great opportunity and I'm really excited about it.
And looking at it on paper, it does seem like a fairly balanced team, getting in those young up-and-coming players. Obviously, we've got Michael Cooper swapped out for Callum Burton. Probably nice to give him a little bit of a break because he made some very good saves at the weekend. And then, you know, of course, you've got your captain back in there. And Ryan Hardy as well starting today, not starting on Saturday previously.
I think he'll be delighted coming off the bench and scoring again. He's saying to the manager he wants to be in the starting lineup, and that's the best way for a goal scorer to come off the bench and score. Late on it was, so he'll be actually delighted, and he'll want to prove a point again tonight. As you said about the goalkeeper, I mean, Cooper, what a fantastic goalkeeper he is. Does a goalkeeper have a rest? Yeah, it was quite funny when you said that, but you know, he's in outstanding form, and really he's the reason Argyle won at the weekend. I know Bolton came here and really pushed Argyle, but he made some fantastic saves. But then it gives an opportunity for another goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, there were certainly a couple of moments looking at it, if Michael Cooper hadn't managed to stretch for the ball there, that it could have completely turned in an opposite direction with, you know, a draw coming much earlier on in the game and possibly even losing. But one of the players that is starting as well is Nigel Lonvike. And having been at the previous game and maybe seeing some of the highlights, there were a couple of opportunities for Bolton that maybe seemed to come off the back of maybe some loose passes from him. Do you think it will be important, maybe if he knows he didn't play his best game at the weekend, to once again have been included in the starting lineup? Yeah,
I think when he's played, he's been sort of Mr. Reliable. He's quality on the ball, and whether it was lack of concentration the weekend, I think he want to put that right tonight. Like I said, a few opportunities, Bolton chances did come down his side. But what a great opportunity again to put it right tonight, because we know he's a quality player. He's big and strong, and he organises things. So I think on his performance-wise, he'll want to improve tonight. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's take a look at our opposition lineup as well with Bristol Rovers this afternoon, or should I say this evening? It's getting a little bit late now, isn't it? So they're on the screen for you as well, with manager Joey Bart as well mentioning, we're not sure if he is here, as Mark might have mentioned. I'm looking around, there's not very many people down here pitch side with us at the moment. In your experience, Mark, what do you make of the team that the opposition have put out?
Well, I think it's a mixed bag as well. I think Joey, how serious is he taking this competition if he is here tonight? And also, you know, they're unbeaten. They've lost a few away from home. I think they've lost 3 away from home this season. So they want to put that right. I think it's vitally important. We've only 2 wins all season, 7 points on the table. So again, it's a good opportunity for Bristol Rovers to get their campaign going. But who knows if they're taking this serious or not? Only time will tell when the game starts.
Yeah, and I've got written down here some notes on Joey Barton, his take on these kind of cup competitions, saying first of all that he wants some new signings in the team already, and like you mentioned before, without a win in 3 games, it's maybe less so about the competition for them, but wanting to get another win under their belt. And obviously you don't want to continue any kind of losing streak, do you? You want to win.
Of course, winning habit breeds success, of course, and it's confidence in the dressing room, and you want to put that right as well. So it is a mixed bag from their team tonight. He want to do things right. I know him as a player. He was very aggressive and very organised, had a great career himself, and he want to pass it on to the rest of his players. And I think, they are asking for money to be spent. We know how difficult it is. I don't know what the relationship is with the chairman, but everybody needs funds to improve their squad, and I think they certainly need a few players in there.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how that plays out over the rest of the evening. The Papa John's Trophy is not a competition that Argyle generally do well in, as me and Mark touched on a moment ago. But of course, we are hoping that changes this year. Assistant manager Mark Hughes spoke to Argyle TV yesterday about the importance of backing up Saturday's league win.
It's a cup that some people like it, some people don't. I think it's good, the fact that lads get minutes who possibly haven't played, try and get up to speed, and chance to keep the winning mentality, which is what we want at this club.
And that's exactly it. I mean, the gaffer regularly talks about trying to piece wins together, get on a little run. We've got 2 in a row. This is another chance to...
Yeah, 100%. And I spoke to the lads this morning, and the way the manager's been picking his teams, he picks lads who are at it day to day, and he's been picking lads. So I said, whoever plays tomorrow, look, it's a chance for be ready to go and play on Saturday or whenever. So no, we've got a strong squad here. I'm sure, he'll utilise it, and possibly a couple of youngsters as well can be, which is what we want to do as a club. So no, we're looking forward to it. Bristol Rovers, I know Joey doesn't like the cup, I remember, but it's another game, and it's better than training. I would think so as a player as well. So looking forward to it. They'll come. I said the way they are as a club, that he wants to win every game, so it'll be a tough game.
We'll talk about Bristol Rovers in just a minute, and your link and Joey Barton. But on that squad competition sort of thing, if it is other lads coming in and playing that haven't played that many minutes, we've seen with lads that have come in during games have made an impact. The squad is strong, isn't it?
It is. It's massive, and we always, especially obviously with the 5 sub rule, it's generally you'll find that teams have a starting team and a finishing team. We generally don't pick it like that, but on Saturday we thought that we might need maybe an injection of pace, and we brought Morgan on, and that's what happened. So it's just seeing every game's different. Like you say, you utilise it. Adam Randall doesn't play, who's been one of the best players, and you wouldn't know, and then he comes on and makes a difference. That's just the way a squad goes. Obviously, you want to play every game, but to play 46 / cup games, 60 games is going to be tough. So now we're going to utilise everyone, and to say, everyone loves playing football, and when you get on the pitch, you want to win. You don't go on to lose. So we'll be taking it as a proper game. Yeah.
On Bristol Rovers then, a club you know well. You were there this time last season. What sort of game are you expecting against them? They're
tough. They do the basics really well. I think that's what Joey builds his foundations on, in terms of getting the basics done. He likes his defenders to defend, his midfielders to get up to people. They be competitive, and aggressive. So no, it'll be a tough game. They had a really good season last year. Obviously, they have lost a few players who actually done well for them on loan, and I know they've started off with a couple of bad injuries. So I don't know how, in terms of team-wise, how he's going to be seeing it. But I know the way he is as a person, he'd be going on to win the game. So it will be a tough game. Yeah.
Has the gaffer lent on you a bit this week to be like, right, you know this team, what are you going to do?
Possibly, not so much. He knows them as well. And obviously, they'll have a few young lads that I probably didn't really get to see as much when I was there. But like I said, they're a competitive club, and say the management, and I know their staff really well. They want to win every game as well, so it'll be a good game, and say possibly a good chance for some of our lads to maybe get 90 minutes.
Just finally on the competition, on that, it's people look at it from different ways, and it is a chance to get guys minutes that maybe haven't so far, keep winning sort of mentalities going, but also it is a chance for clubs like Argyle, realistic chance to get to a final of a competition at Wembley, isn't it? I mean, that's the ultimate.
Yeah, and if you think about it realistically, it's probably the best chance to get to Wembley, and isn't it? Really, when you look at obviously Carabao Cup, FA Cup, obviously the playoffs, which is a long way away. So, yeah, why not? As a player, wanting to go and play at Wembley and taking a club to Wembley, I think it's great.
Mark Hughes talking to Charlie Price there. Joining us now on Argyle TV is the Argyle Under-18s manager, Darren Way. Darren, nice to have you joining us on Argyle TV this evening.
It's nice to be here, especially when a few of our players are involved tonight. It's a great occasion for the academy, and off of a back of a good result on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, before we get stuck into this evening's game, we've got to mention Saturday. What an amazing performance from your boys there.
It was a relentless performance, certainly in and out of possession. We pressed the opposition extremely hard. We got off to a fantastic start. We scored 3 goals in 11 minutes. Yeah. Will JD's goals were incredible finishes. He was very, very clinical, and it was a good start to the game.
Yeah, and not just getting, solitary goals. It was goal after goal after goal, wasn't it? So
yeah, this team at the moment never gives in, and it's important. Even though it was 4-0 at half time, they were relentless in their pursuit for excellence, and it was great to see.
Were you expecting them to be that comprehensive in their play and in their win on Saturday?
We asked this group to be a little bit more competitive over the years that we've played Swindon, because it's always been a difficult task for us. But they were ultra competitive and very clinical at the same time. So that was excellent to see. Yeah,
and their performance like that and the way they've been playing at the moment, what does that kind of tell you about your players at the minute and where they are and the standing for them going forwards?
We've got a lot of individual talent, but the question mark's always been our work rate as a team. And that's getting stronger. We've got to play the Bournemouths and the Portsmouths yet, which I think will be a bigger challenge. And we all know the situation last season. It went down to goal difference, which was an amazing achievement from the group. Yeah. But they're the teams that we want to make sure that we're testing ourselves and challenging at the top end of the table. Yeah.
And now coming back on to tonight, obviously we've got a few of the academy players starting this evening. What do you think that'll mean for them to be, straight in as soon as the whistle goes?
I think the biggest thing is they use this opportunity to shine. These opportunities don't come around too often. Obviously it's brilliant from the first team staff and the gaffer that he's given the lads the opportunity, and it's up to them to make sure that they take them. I mean, Will JD's been in fine form, and if he can score and he can have a good game and be consistent in his play, then all of the academy are extremely proud.
Yeah, I mean, Will in particular, based off his form at the minute and then starting tonight, it must be fantastic for him, fantastic for you, as his manager, to see him kind of reaching this.
I think as an academy, Will's been in the academy and he started the journey, so every single member of staff should feel extremely proud tonight. Yeah. And what you want him to do is to continue that momentum, and he's probably deserved this opportunity, and he's not had as much exposure as what some of our other players have had. Yeah. So the timing's been perfect, and all he's got to do tonight, no pressure on him, is just go and perform.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think that's important, not to put the pressure on the younger players in particular when it comes to playing in a competition like this? It's more about the experience and I suppose enjoying themselves and feeling comfortable rather than putting a set kind of goal on them.
Well, I know the way Will's mind works, and there will be pressure from within, and that comes from himself. It won't come from anyone else. Naturally, he works extremely hard. And you've got Oscar Halls, you've got Jack Endicott as well. And Jack's been in fine form throughout the whole of pre-season, and he deserves his opportunity, certainly off the back of the Peterborough game. But the pressure will come from within, and that pressure is what they put on themselves. And they're all natural at working hard, and it's making sure that they're calm and assured in their play.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Argyle TV and giving us a nice in-depth look at your players there. I take it you'll be watching the match.
I'll definitely be watching tonight.
Well, have a lovely evening. Thank you very much, Darren. Lovely to chat with you.
Brilliant.
We will be having a look at all 7 of those goals as well from the academy players a little bit later on. But with just over 30 minutes now until kickoff, we've got loads to get through, and it's all coming up after this.
Bad ball in, good goal, progress into the 2nd division.
Welcome back. You are watching Argyle TV, and this evening Argyle take on Bristol Rovers as part of the Papa John's Trophy. You can, of course, get in touch with us on social media. We would love to hear from you. I've had a couple of tweets in already, which we're going to read out in a second. But for those of you who maybe somehow don't know how to get in touch with us, you can do so on all the social media channels. Most importantly, though, is Twitter, because that is the one I use. It's at Argyle. Send us a tweet. Let us know what you're up to this evening. Maybe you are watching from so far afield that you feel like you deserve a shout out, or maybe you're even watching from somewhere inside the stadium on your phone, which would be a real form of inception there. But one of the people who has got in touch with us already is DHFC Sam, who's given a shout out to the Argyle ground staff this evening. And do you know what? When we do get social media tweets and comments come in, we don't often mention the ground staff, and he said, pitch always looks like a carpet, no matter the weather. Cracking job. So credit where credit's due. I'll have a little bit of a shout out to the ground staff on this lovely sunny evening at Argyle and at Home Park. Now, moving on to matters at hand and at play this evening. One of the players that we've spoken about already, Morgan Whittaker, he is getting a start this evening for the first time after being on the subs bench, and he is hoping that he can use that to really take his chance.
Morgan, start of the Papa John's Trophy journey tomorrow against Bristol Rovers. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I've never played in the competition, so yeah, it's another one to add, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't have played in it, yeah, at Swansea. They would never have been in it. I mean, as someone who's never played in it, then looking in on it, you know, a chance to get to Wembley for lower league clubs, how have you kind of seen it? How do you feel about it?
I think it's good, like the under-21 teams get an opportunity to play against League 1 and League 2 teams, so I think it's good for football in general, developing players, and even the more experienced ones having a different challenge against younger ones. I think it's good for everyone. Yeah,
and I suppose you actually probably play different styles, don't you? If you are one of those lower league clubs playing against like an Arsenal or a Chelsea under-21 side, you probably wouldn't have played against that sort of football before, would you? Yeah, I think, especially in the 21s team, I think it's a real eye-opener, and seeing the levels, even in League 1 and League 2, that's there, and I think it's good for them because not many players necessarily would get the chance to play against League 1 and League 2 teams unless they got on loan. So I think it's a good experience for them. And it is a chance for sides like Argyle, a realistic chance, other than the playoffs, to maybe make it to Wembley and win a national competition. Yeah, definitely. Everyone wants to get the chance to play at Wembley, so yeah, it's a good stepping stone, and hopefully we do well this year. Let's talk about you a little bit, because you're new in the season. I'm not sure we've spoken to you since you signed. So you've had a taste of game action, you've had a taste of the Home Park atmosphere. How have you found it since you've been here? No, it's been really good. A lot more impact off the bench to start, but just trying to be patient, and hopefully if I get everyone in the team, stay in the team. The gaffer actually mentioned that to me in the week about how he's been impressed with impacts off the bench, and you were one of them. Saturday was a prime example. you and Ryan linking up for the second goal. What goes through your head as a substitute when you are coming on in the game, maybe looking to affect it? What goes through your head during that time?
Just think, even if like on Saturday it's half an hour or 10 minutes, just being positive and just doing well. Cause that's all I can control is me coming on and doing well and then getting the chance hopefully to play the next game. Because if I think I'm not playing and then so it's only going to affect me. So I just got to do well when I get a chance.
Yeah, and I suppose doing exactly that, and you've seen players come in that haven't started the first couple. I mean, you were one of them at Charlton and scored. It's about taking that chance, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and then hopefully getting the confidence to stay in the team, and because here you're going to play and the manager's good and the team's good, so just getting that chance and just getting out here.
You've scored and got an assist. Talk us through the Charlton goal. I know it wasn't in a great result, but it was a heck of a goal.
I know, I just kept going, and then I think I next to the guy, and I just kept going, and then it was funny, one of the defenders said keep him on his right, so I just took it and swung with it, and it's gone in the bottom corner, and it was good. It was in front of the Argyle fans as well, so yeah.
One of the defenders said that whilst you were dribbling with it,
yeah.
You heard it.
Yeah.
It must be a brilliant feeling when you've just scored on your right foot.
Yeah, he said keep him on his right, so I went on my right and just swung at it.
Brilliant. You could have been within your rights to go around and just have a little word in the players'
Yeah, I know, yeah, but
on the way back.
It was 3-1 down, so I got the ball as quick as I could and start the game again.
We've seen that from you in quite a lot of the games, running with the ball. You see that as one of your strengths?
Yeah, I like that, just being positive, and I feel confident within myself that I can take the ball upfield and create chances, so that's what I just keep trying to do when I get the chance to do that.
And you kind of played in a couple of different roles since you've been here as well, through the middle as one of the strikers, but also in that withdrawn 10 position.
Yeah.
Do you feel that those positions really work for you?
Yeah, especially the way we play, the 10s get the ball a lot, so and the positions I can get it in, I can hurt the opposition and help obviously set people up on the counter attack, so yeah, it's how I want to be playing. Let's talk a little bit specifics for the Bristol Rovers game. What sort of game do you reckon you're expecting against those? I don't know. I've not played against Bristol Rovers before, but I think we back ourselves and we know we have the players that can hurt anyone, so it's more just focusing about ourselves and getting the result. And, if there are changes from either side, it's always going to be a strong team without squad at the moment, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. I think that's what's good. Everyone's challenging for positions in the league games, and I think the squad's got that much depth. You could put the people that aren't playing in the starting team and they still do the same job. You've got a goal away from home. Fancy one at home park as well? I know, yeah, that'd be nice. Best of luck on Tuesday. Thank you. Cheers.
Now, I promised you those academy goals when we were talking to Darren earlier, and Darren's side were 7-0 winners over Swindon on Saturday, with Will Jenkins-Davies, who's playing this evening, getting 4, Joe Hatch with 2, and Oscar Hawes as well with the final one, and Oscar's playing for us tonight too. So sit back and enjoy this one.
This game was all about Will Jenkins-Davies. The young midfielder took centre stage in Swindon as he bagged 4 goals in a 7-0 victory for the Young Greens. The first, after just 34 seconds, a pin-perfect free kick which left the goalkeeper stranded. He wasn't finished there and completed his hat-trick within the first 10 minutes. His second was a rifled strike from just outside the 6-yard box. And then his third, again after build-up on the left-hand side, finished off beautifully by the Wales Youth International. Pick that one out, eh? 10 minutes in and the game was probably already over. A second win of the season for Argyle. But they were still going. And then it was a story of penalty kicks. First up, Joe Hatch, another Welsh Youth International, stepped up from 12 yards to calmly put Argyle 4-0 in front before the break. And then Will Jenkins-Davies got his 4th, hammering home a second spot kick from 12 yards. The third of the penalties was again slotted away calmly by Joe Hatch. He was chasing a hat-trick himself. But 6-0 up, still plenty of time to play up in Wiltshire. Darren Way said that they didn't have a great record away at Swindon. Well, they've well and truly put that to bed this season. Oscar Hawes, the skipper, finishing at the back post to round off the scoring. Fantastic game all round.
And you can keep up to date with the latest news on all of our teams online. For the Argyle Academy, head over to @PAFC Academy on Twitter. And also the women's team as well is available at Argyle WFC. And there is still plenty more to come on Argyle TV. Let's now take a moment to remind ourselves of the sides playing this evening. We've had a little bit of a change-up for Argyle and, of course, Bristol Rovers as well. But this is Argyle's starting 11 appearing for you now. We've got the likes of Callum Burton in for Michael Cooper in goal. And as mentioned previously, several of our academy players. Mark, looking at the squad, we spoke about it earlier, but it is a really nice mix. Some great opportunities to be had for the younger members of the team this evening, and nicely guided as well by the likes of Joe Edwards, for example.
Yeah, when the skipper comes in, obviously leads by example, and what great way for the youngsters. And I've just seen Darren Way walk away with a massive smile on his face, and rightly so. 3 academic graduates, as we said about Will Jenkins scoring 4 at the weekend, Oscar Hawes and Jack Endicott. And Joe, the captain, will be obviously guiding them and getting them in the right frame of mind, and they'll look up to the skipper as well. You know, he leads by example, and it's a great night for them as well. What an opportunity. And we talked about that rotation, the squad rotation, because there's so many games in a short period of time. Yeah. And I'm really excited about tonight.
Yeah. And it's not just about the academy players coming into the team as well. We've seen an interview with Morgan Whittaker as well, and how much it means to him to actually be starting in the squad tonight.
Yeah, we talked about Morgan. I remember him from his Derby days at 18 and 23 level. We spoke about a big move to Swansea. Yeah. And he needs to come here. He's on loan. He wants to prove his worth. That's starting at the weekend. And we talk about Ryan Hardy as well. He came on the weekend and scored. He's got something to prove. We know he can score goals. So a lot of opportunities for players tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will be very exciting to see how the dynamic works with kind of, I don't want to say young and old, because I don't think
you're
that's
right.
doing anyone justice.
But it is that nice blend. And I think you got young players coming in. They're going to be a bit nervous, but it's going to be exciting for them. You got experienced players. It's always nice to have a few experienced players in the team to guide them as well. And obviously Bristol Rovers, as we really haven't said, we found out if Joey Barton's here or not, so that just goes to show how important he sees this competition. But they need to come here and they need to get their sort of campaign on the run. They haven't won away from home a lot this season, and it's going to be a difficult game for them tonight.
Yeah, and we've got the Bristol Rovers team there for everyone at home to look at. Me and you were just having a little look at the list there, and it seems like they've kind of gone with a similar approach where they're bringing out new players and players that might not have had too much time previously. Is there anyone in particular that
it's a mixed bag, isn't it? There's some new signings in there as well, and I think again it'll be competition for places for them. They want to prove a point, because when the report gets back to Joey Barton, they're going to make sure they want to be in the starting lineup for the weekend, because like I said, they need to get their season going.
Yeah. Dare you make a prediction on, not necessarily the scoreline, but what kind of a game we're going to be seeing this evening?
Well, an exciting one, I think, because we talked about that nice blend of youth and maturity in the Argyle side. But predictions, I'm not going to give you a prediction, Aaron, because purely I was here at the last game of the season against MK Dons. I thought we was going to win 2-1. Yeah. We know what happened there. So I'm just going to say to the fans tonight, it's going to be an exciting game. Mm-hmm. The youngsters are on show. But I will predict an Argyle win.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a nice result to have. If we're talking maybe less about the scoreline and anything like that, and winning, losing. Generally, the kind of play that you'll want to see from Argyle tonight, how they work together. Is there any kind of particular thing you're looking for, especially in your career as a defender? And your career across the Premier League as well. I mean, there's a lot of experience to draw from what you want to be looking at.
I think the Argyle manager, look, we're 5th in the table at the moment. We've got 12 points on the table. Fantastic result against Bolton. All the prep's done on the training ground, and it's reliability, hard work, consistency. and that's the way Plymouth play. There's no if buts. That's what's going to happen. They expect their players to perform at the highest level, and just because it's a competition, don't think you can take any game easy.
Yeah.
So I expect them to be high tempo, which they are, creative at times. Be interested to see what formation they go with, and hopefully we can go on and win the game tonight.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be any key battles happening on the pitch? I know you've mentioned Ryan Hardy as well, you know, how important it is for him to be starting. Do you think there's going to be a lot of challenges for him in the Bristol defence?
Yeah, I think there is. I think the case is he runs in behind, he's got great pace, he feeds on little bits, and we know he's a goal scorer. So he'll look to get him behind the Bristol Rovers defence and making them runs, and hopefully then that'll make the opposition drop deep, and then the likes of Will Jenkins, who's starting tonight, technically really good, can start getting on the ball and start playing some passes through and creates an opportunity for us tonight.
Yeah. And you've, of course, got your own personal experience with the Argyle Academy, so you must know some of those players as well. But with them and the rest of the kind of first-team squad, is there anyone in particular that you're looking forward to seeing tonight?
Well, I think I always like seeing, you know, the captain play, Joe Edwards. He's leads by example. I'm looking forward to the youngsters because it's a big game for them, but we know the experienced players in the side. Ryan Hardy's a goal scorer. I'd like to see him get on the sheet tonight and score as well. So I think it's a case of, you know, excited about what's on show. And as we already said, it's players playing for their shirt at the weekend against Derby.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a pretty big game for them as well, isn't it?
It certainly will do. And Morgan Whittaker, we talked about Morgan. Morgan wants to, when you come on loan, it's like anything. Manager is a bit of a gamble. They do all their research. We know we got players from Aston Villa, we got players from Norwich and Swansea. So we got some really high quality players here on loan. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I think it's such a great setup here. It's such a welcoming club. And I think they have settled in really well. But it just takes a little bit of time for them to really get up to speed. And it's a great opportunity for Morgan to do that tonight.
Yeah. Do you think having a cup game like this one, kind of sandwiched in the middle of particularly what's coming up, is going to be a big game? Do you think that helps or hinders the league progression?
Yeah, I think it does, because you don't want to miss too many games either. We talked about winning habit. We beat Bolton at the weekend. No players wants to miss a game. And Shuey would have looked at the squad and thought, you know what, 3 games in a week. It's a really tough for the squad. He's going to rest key players, but also give opportunity to other players. It's not the case of they're left out. It's just a great opportunity for them to perform tonight and get a starting lineup on Saturday. And that's what a manager likes. He likes competition for places, and he wants to be scratching his head after the game tonight, thinking, who am I going to start on Saturday?
So in that instance, it's actually a good position to be in when you have a little bit of a conundrum on your hands.
Oh, it really is. I think if you ask any manager, if he's got competition for places, he's undecided, that's a great way to be, because it means the squad's playing well, they're training hard, and they're desperate to get in that starting 11. I think that's vitally important, because that takes you right through the season with that really bit of confidence, and you get the dressing room banter, and it really leads on to a successful campaign.
Yeah. And long may that campaign continue with another win, hopefully, this evening, and certainly on back in the league at the weekend. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank
TV.
you.
You are now officially a member of the Argyle TV family.
Thank you very much.
You've been indoctrinated. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the game. And for those of you watching at home, we are now pretty much ready to kick off. There is about 15 minutes until we get right up to the action. So a reminder that if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you head over to Argyle TV on the PAFC website, and you can watch the game. We are streaming live all over the world. It costs just £10 to watch, and you can watch the action both abroad and in the UK this evening. So keep your comments coming in to me at Argyle on Twitter, and we will be touching base and checking up with them at half-time as well, getting as many in as possible. But for now, we are rapidly approaching the time for Plymouth Argyle versus Bristol Rovers in the Papa John's Trophy, and for that you will be in the prestigious company of Argyle Academy manager Phil Stokes and Charlie Price.
What a difference a year makes.
To wrap it up, Lord and Dillon, Argyle have a third, they've
Before I signed here, I thought I had an idea, but the reality has been something else. On the field, off the field, on our day, this club is a match for anyone. Limbs at the bridge.
First ball, watch for Jeff Gott to be on the end of a second. Oh, it's 1-0! Chelsea are behind to League One Plymouth. Macaulay Gillespie, the big centre-back, glancing it in.
Unforgettable.
It's in my blood, it's a massive part of me, all my life. Nothing makes me prouder than the academy lads coming through. And we're only getting started.
Argyle has given me everything.
It's my hometown club.
What a feeling when the fans chant your name.
We roll with the punches.
We take pride in the shirt.
We prove people wrong.
Next up in 23rd spot is Plymouth Argyle.
We take risks. We leave it all out there.
We are Argyle.
Good evening, welcome to Home Park. It's a very, very pleasant evening, I've got to say. It's been a hot day, but now evening is drawing in. The shadows are coating the pitch, which looks as perfect as ever, and there is a smattering of supporters away in the Lyndhurst stand opposite where we're sat. And we're getting ready for the first game of this year's Papa John's Trophy campaign. Argyle looking to do what they haven't done since the new rules were introduced and the group stage was brought in at this competition. They're looking to get past and through and competing. And it will start today against Bristol Rovers, a side also in Sky Bet League One. Games against Swindon Town and Crystal Palace, the other two teams in the group. And it's a very interesting game this evening. Phil Stokes, the academy manager here at Argyle, is alongside us for it. And we'll run through the sides in a moment, Phil. But you know, the reason you're here is because there's quite a few of the young lads in it, which is great to see.
Yeah, good evening everyone. It is great to see. We've got 3 second-year scholars in the starting lineup, which is really impressive. Obviously we've got Adam Randall, who's played a big part this season already, and we've got two scholars, Jeffrey Forku and Freddie Azaka, on the bench as well. So hopefully a good night for all of them.
Well, let's have a look through the side then, as you've just been talking through it there. Phil, quite a few changes made from the league game here on Saturday against Bolton, 8 in total, so it's easier just to look kind of through it with Callum Burton in. But you mentioned Oscar Hall's making his senior debut, competitive debut in the middle of a back three alongside Lundvik and Gillespie. Jack Endicott back in again after his impressive performance against Peterborough in the Carabao Cup, and Will Jenkins-Davies, who, we saw in the pre-match show, got 4 on Saturday, and a couple on the bench as well in Forku and Isaka. The academy doing well, bringing players through, and it's great to see these lads in here. Oscar Hall's